Welcome back to Champ Talk with Branden Hudson, guys, and I am super excited about the guest that we have today, man. It's been a while since I've been able to track him down and get him to get time to come sit with us and have a conversation, but I think you guys are all going to be extremely happy with this episode, and I know a lot of you are going to get value out of this episode, so when you do, share that to somebody else who would get value as well. You know, let's get Champ Talk all over the airways. Let's get everybody hearing it through the algorithms, and if you're ever so kind and feel so nice, hit me with a review. I need you to like and subscribe to any platform or any channel that you're on, preferably all of them. But the review is critical for us to get recognized in the algorithm and just give more value for Champ Talk. We do this for free. We don't ask any money from anybody. We just want to give value back to you guys. And I have amazing people on my show that I want to talk to. These aren't people that, you know, are lobbying to get on the show. These are people that I reach out to, I track down, and I want to talk to them because I think they're interesting. I think they provide value. And in my community here on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, they provide massive amounts of leadership qualities and value to our community. So without further ado, guys, I have the co-owner of Delmar Pizza. If you guys know anything about Delmar, Delaware, and Delmar, Maryland, fun fact, that Delmar is one of those cities, and I've had other people that have been on here from Delmar, that like when you have a football game for the high school, you can pretty much rob every house that's in the neighborhoods. I mean, every house is empty because they're all at the football game. I don't recommend doing that. Don't do that. But it's one of those things where there's so much Delmar pride. There has been a couple of recent tragedies in the past few years where we've lost some high school students and some citizens and people, young people. And I mean, the entire city has rallied around everybody. And if you know anything about Delmar, you know Delmar Pizza. And it's not just a pizza shop. I mean, this place has been a cornerstone in there in that city forever, since 1991. And I would love you guys to get to know Mike Costas. Mike, how are you today?
Good, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So this is a little awkward for me today because you walk in with 2 pizza pies and cheesesteaks, and I'm all filled up right now, and I can barely breathe right now. And I'm over here trying to work on my fitness. You know what I mean? So, you know, all the fitness people, we're straight addicts, man. We can't help ourselves but eat all the good food and stuff like that. But thank you for that. But no, we're going to get straight to it. So 1991, okay?
Correct. February 1991 is the first days that Delmar Pizza opened.
Dude, it's ages ago.
35 years ago.
Ages ago. How did you guys go? This is my biggest question I want to ask right off the top. In 1991, in 2001, in 2021, there has not been a single thing that is the same price in this country.
Yeah, it has changed a lot. Actually, reviewing the menu from 1992, we've only gone up about $6 on an extra large cheese pizza.
Wow.
So it has grown, like it's changed over the years, but definitely, you know, you got to try to give the best value, give the best product, and try to get the best price.
So how do you survive in an economy where inflation's up? And I don't want to go down the economy politic route at all. But we do know everything costs more money.
Yeah.
How do you sell? I mean, it's very simple. I mean, you're selling dough with
Correct.
cheese and with sauce on it and a little bit of toppings. Yeah. Obviously, you have other great menu items. Mm-hmm. But that's what you're known for. That's what you probably flip the most is pizzas, of course.
Of course, yeah.
You know, how do you sustain? And you've been in the same spot forever. I mean, these things aren't normal, right? These aren't normal things that most businesses can do. Most businesses can't sustain. I mean, what are we looking at? 40 years? Almost 40 years.
Almost 40 years.
Yeah, being in the same location, serving the community, and selling, you know, food in a very, very tough industry. You know what I mean? Other than the best product, what has been, you know, you guys' main mission to be able to keep revenue going up while everything else is?
So number one thing is consistency. You got to be consistent day in, day out. We preach that, and also get 1% better every day. That's our motto. Everybody walk in the door, try to be better, at least 1%. You know, consistent. That's huge for us. We've had the same people making the dough for 20 plus years. You know, our hands are still, as owners, myself and my dad, we still touch almost everything. And we're always in there with everybody, all employees. We're always working with them too. So you'll always see us, our hands are always doing something with them. like from making the dough, making the sauce. It's just being consistent and the great products. Like we use Grande pizza cheese. You know, it's the top of the market. It's the best. So, and we've been using it for 30 plus years. And then our dough, our flour, you know, it's a new fad now to have non-bleach brominated flour. But we've been doing that for 35 years. So for us, it's not like, oh, it's like not a new thing. And we're like, what's going on? Like, I was like, social media is exploding with no bromate, no chloride. I'm like, we've been doing that for 35 years already. What's going on now? You know what I mean? So
that's something you should talk about. That's literally like, you should talk about that in some of your ads. You know, I'm having a thought right now because you're exactly right. Some of the things that a lot of like people have been doing forever, you know what I mean? We're sitting here and you know, like doing the right thing with the right ingredients with the, you know, like in my space, you know, like we got this fancy gym that we're a part of, and we've got all these cool multi-million-dollar options in this club, right? It's great. It's awesome. But the work is still the work. You know, you got to get out there. You got to sweat. You got to get,
you have to grind every day, you know,
100%.
We just try to do our best every day. You know what I mean? Other than that, give the best product you can.
Yeah.
Don't try to cheap it. If we haven't changed any of our products, it's the same product that we use from day one to today. That was one thing when I started taking over the business. My dad told me, you will never change a product. I don't care what the price is. This will stay the same no matter what. Even if like we had our pepperoni was bought out by, it was another company bought the company that ships it. Mm-hmm. We still have that pepperoni.
Wow.
We called the manufacturer. We said, we've been using it for 35 years. How can I get the product? They said, no problem. We'll get it to you. It's just being consistent and always working, grinding out.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, these things that you're saying about, you know, these are buzzwords that social media likes to talk about, you know, be consistent, 1%ers and all that. But like, you can't get no more raw than being into a food industry, you know what I mean, place to deliver food to people. Like, I mean, that is like the hardest thing in the world. You know, I have such admiration for people in the service industry because, I mean, dude, if you can handle people's food when they're grouchy, hungry, angry, and all that, you can pretty much do anything. You know what I mean?
It's not an easy business. And to bring back like a little bit about the dough, like when I brought the pizza into you, I think we both house half the pizza in like a couple of seconds, and we don't feel like the weight, the heaviness.
Correct.
So like when you eat like our pizza, Delmar pizza, you don't feel that heaviness right away. So it's also the fermentation, how many days it takes, and it just takes a lot to go into it. And I think if the owner is in the business and helping everybody, it can grow. It can be as successful no matter what. You can't just walk in and just, you know, bark orders. That's not the way we do it. We walk in and we make sure we're dealing with everything as well too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to know about the lineage, right? So, you know, you guys started in 91, and is your family from New York, correct?
New Jersey, New York area.
What was going on before that? Like, were you guys in the industry? Did you bring it down? What brought you here? Give us like a little history lesson on.
So to give you a little background on Delmar Pizza. Delmar Pizza was started by George and Maria. They started in 1991. They sold the business to our partner, Nick, in 1992 and in 1993. Everybody's been in the business. So lineage down starts back from my grandfather, both sides, my mom's father and my dad's father, and being involved in the restaurant business. My dad's been involved in the restaurant business 45 years. And then I pretty much came out from a baby into the restaurant business. I used to go, my dad was a baker by trade, and I used to just go with him all the time from a young age. And he used to wake me up 3 o'clock in the morning at 4 or 5 years old, and I would go with him and work all day long. I didn't do anything, but as a 3-4-year-old, I remember that till today. You know, and I see how hard they worked in the restaurant business. I wasn't supposed to go into the restaurant business, actually. I was looking to go into the medical field, but then some things turned, and then I decided to join the family business.
What was that decision that made you do that?
I guess I started falling in love with it, really, to tell you the truth. I kind of missed it, and then I was just like, you know, I think this would be the best option for me.
So you have something in common with some of the most successful people that I've had on this show. Nick Taganpour and Tony Taganpour, you know, they followed this trend, and a handful of others. Basically, your father installed work ethic in you young just by being in proxy.
Yeah.
Right. And then, you know, seeing that, I've always questioned that because my father was a bricklayer. right? So my dad, he would tell me, don't get into this industry, right? It's tough work. But, and my father tried to be a foreman. He was promoted to a foreman. Failed miserably at foreman. My dad is a man's man. Put him on the wall. Let him put it up. He would try to tell these young guys what to do, and because they couldn't do it right, and I guess he couldn't communicate correctly, get out of the fucking way. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I didn't really necessarily get that work ethic instilled hands on like a lot of the guys that I talk to, like yourself. You know what I mean? So my question is that like a thing where it's just an automatic a part of you, or do you get to a certain point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to outwork dad and show him that I'm the guy?
Wow. That's a big question now.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's like
those are big shoes to fill.
100%. But one of it could be like a part of it where you just grew into it and that's what you know. You just know to put in 12 hours. Or the other part is like, you know what? I got to outwork dad to actually earn my right to be here.
Of course, and every day is my goal is to provide and to prove my parents, that I can be the rock of the family. Especially my mom and my dad. They're both very hard workers. Like I said, back in the day, my dad used to work 3-4 baking jobs and going to the diners all day long. My mom, she would work behind a deli or even worked at McDonald's, So yeah, she's still a hustler. She goes, even though she doesn't go to a job every day, like she helps out my wife now with the kids. I think that's even more of a job than what I do every day. Yeah. But like, they instilled it from my sister and I from a young age. Work hard, put your head down, be humble. Number one thing, and God will guide you. Jesus will guide you. Just keep going, pray, and work hard. Give it all. You have one life. Do your best. If I'm not working, like let's say I have a day off, I don't know really what to do myself. Obviously, people are like, why do you come to during your day off to Delmar Pizza? Or why do you do this? I'm like, because it's a kind of routine for me.
Yeah.
Keeps my mental going in the right phase and just keep going, just push. That's my goal.
The one thing about you that I've always admired is your passion about it. Like it's the saying, it's not work if you love what you do. You know what I mean? Which I think is bullshit.
It's a cliche. For me, I don't like that cliche because everybody's, you gotta love what you do. I don't believe in that at all. No, because at the end of the day, you got to feed a family. You have to do certain things, and you have to sacrifice.
Yep.
It's sacrifice. I think that's what.
But I think we both can agree that if you are passionate about your craft, right, it does make it sting less. You know what I mean? Especially those long days, and especially when you get to that point where like you broke through. Like there's those benchmarks where it's like, I'm in one of those moments with my business. It's like I've gotten over a hurdle. And I've gotten to, a nice, reputable place. Man, I'm like in the trenches where I'm not where we need me to be. The hours don't match the income, the time in versus. So, but I know that you just keep going, you keep staying at it, you keep fixing, you keep adjusting, you keep getting better. 1%, you're going to get better. So those do reward you when you're doing something that you're very passionate about. And just the passion that you talk about, like your whole facial expression changes when you start talking about ingredients.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When you start talking about like the things that you did, the non-bleach dough and things like that, your whole facial expression just changed, and you'll see it on camera because that's where you go. You go straight passion. I've talked to you many times in the restaurant, and when you're talking about good employees, trying to find employees, you get very passionate about it. And I do think that just that's the rocket fuel, man. That's the stuff that makes us want to put those long 14-hour days in, and say that's okay, and we're gonna go in on our day off and things like that.
Correct.
There is a lot of like cool little things that I've seen you guys start like implementing and changing. The pizza boxes are one. You know what I mean? I thought that was really cool. You got a homemade ice cream. Like you're always doing these little things that are like. I don't like to think that they're like big changes to the restaurant. It's still the same restaurant, it's still the same food, but it's like cool little things that you're adding that like really, really gives you the signature on your brand. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is that you? Is somebody giving you the ideas for this, or what's going on here?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
My dad we always do testing. We always try something crazy, something new. We might not give it to all the customers, or might not like push it out on our menu or something like that. But like Delmar Pizza now is starting to evolve. Yeah. And we do it slowly. We don't want to just go say, hey, we're changing everything or doing this, because you got to keep your classics. You got to keep your core. But we're always doing something, because if you've I'm gonna Delmar Pizza, and we know you pretty well. We're gonna say, hey, try this, even though it might be not like what we would serve on our menu. It'd be something cool. Like my dad will always try like different type of pizzas. Like we came out now with a grandma pie. Now we're working on a different type of pizza as well. So it's always evolving. It's always trying something new. Ice cream. We love desserts.
Yeah.
Even though, you don't get looking like this right now without eating desserts. My wife goes to me all the time. She's like, you used to have abs. Now what's going on? I was like, no worry. I'll get back in the gym and start working out more. But like, you're really married to the business.
Yep.
So yeah, you're always trying something new. Every day you'll try a new dessert. Like I have a new dessert that I'm probably going to come out with next week. It's going to be like a cookie with like cannoli cream.
Cool.
So always test the limits. And always break that boundary. There's like back in the day, it was like old school. You have to just stay with these products. Don't do anything different. Now I think people's palates have opened up. So we're in an area where we can explore more. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but also keep the cores the same. And then just try to find a way to keep it consistent. That's the number one thing for us.
To me, that is like that's fascinating. Like to hear that you're like experimenting with always experimenting with new foods, because I'm one of those guys that when I cook, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not one of those guys that can walk into a blank room and say, okay, we're going to put the shower heads over here. We're going to put I can't see
I'm not
any
that
of
way either. Trust me.
It's kind of like the same thing. Like you have this idea of what you want to taste, and like my taste buds kind of divert back to what I like, opposed to something new. And then I end up trying something new because my wife is like that, and I'm like, holy shit, what do we got? What I mean?
I'm not the type of person to try something new. My wife can tell you that.
Wow.
She knows, like, especially like what I like to eat, or like at home, if she's cooking dinner, she'll know right away. She knows me probably better than I know myself. But like even our customers, they walk in the door, 90% of them, they don't even need a menu anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and now they have to start asking for a menu because social media is not my thing. And I know you've been trying to track me for a long time to do this. So this is like an uncomfortable, it's not my comfort zone that to be in front of a cameras or do these type of things. But, with people seeing us like on Facebook now with like the new grandma pies, the new cheesesteak, the buffalo chicken cheesesteak, I think people are actually asking for a menu now. You used to walk in back in the day, you say, hey, I don't even need a menu.
No.
I know what I'm going to get at Delmar Pizza. I want this, this, and this. And then now the people are like, oh, wow, there's something new. Oh, wow, let's try this out. Like I said, the new pizzas I brought you today was the grandma pies. And with those pizzas, people didn't know anything about them. Like, I think we might be like the first ones on the Eastern Shore doing it. I'm not really sure, but
now what's the definition of a grandma pie?
so a grandma pie is a bit like a Sicilian. So Sicilian is a lot thicker dough. It's a fermented dough that's 3 days. It's a little bit thinner, crispier, like you saw that crisp that we had on the bottom of it. And so for us, it was to come out with something new. And they become one of the most popular ones now. Like the specialty pizzas, obviously your core cheese, pepperoni, Delmar specials are top three. They can't even come close. But now you're making a whole separate dough every day for that grandma pie, 50-pound bag. So it's evolving. Kind of hard, not easy. Yeah, because like I said, a lot of our people are set in their ways that come in the door. I know I'm going to go to Delmar Pizza. I'm going to get this, and this, and be done. So, but slowly we're evolving, changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, man. Cause you go to like the city, like anywhere, any city, and you go to places that have like brick oven pizza and other kind of pizza. And I know we're talking massive about pizza, but I hope that our listeners are getting that this isn't about pizza. This is about business and how we're switching up different ideas. And obviously pizza is the vessel, but you go to the city and I mean, this probably hit me about 10 years ago, maybe less. And I was seeing like styles of pizzas and types and toppings that I've never heard of before. And I'm like, what the, you know what I mean? Like, what is going on? Give me my cheese pizza.
Exactly.
And, but now you're starting to see that be more popular, and it's pretty cool to see you guys kind of like take on that a little bit. But what I like is you still got that, that Italian type base where it's like, hey, we're going to make this authentic. we're going to make this more core to what we really like, and throw some buffalo chicken on there. We could do this, but you know, this is we're keeping it traditional. We're keeping it home base, and I think that's even cooler because you know some of these pizzas like are just not good. You know what I mean? Like you could go to places, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody, but sometimes you go to a place and they're doing too much. You know what I mean? Like it's too much. Kind of keep it. My whole saying this year is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Yeah, or keep it stupid, simple. You know,
that's what I said. That's my saying. Yep. Stupid, simple, simple, stupid. But yeah, this is business. We're obviously talking about pizza, but it's how the business is evolving.
Yep.
It's changing. Like my dad told me a couple of weeks ago, he's like, if he had to start right now, stay away from restaurant business. Mm-hmm. It is going to be very rough coming soon, especially now with like tariffs. We even get a tariff charge from our distributors now. Yeah. You know, we don't pass it to the customer. Like a hidden fees that you don't see is like credit card charge.
Yep.
We don't charge that to the customer. A lot of restaurants are doing that.
That's what I was about to say. You're seeing a lot of that.
I see a lot of them doing. It's a conversation we have every year at our meetings with my dad. As being owners, do we add that charge? Do we take the bite? Because that's money that is going out the door. You know, instead of throwing out the door, you can invest back in your business. You can give more money to your employees. You can donate more to the community. Mm-hmm. And we're just giving that to a credit card processing fee. That's just what is he doing?
Yeah.
They're not going there every day sweating and doing everything. Yep. They're not giving back to the community. They're just collecting and that's their business. Smart business. If I knew how to do it, I'd love to. But it's just at that point where it's just business and you try to grow.
Well, there's a little bit of I agree with you 100%. And you are seeing more restaurants starting to pass the surcharges, the credit card charges over. You know, if you know anything about that, like only about 5 of them that run that show. And,
correct. And
the 2 top ones obviously are Visa and I think MasterCard or maybe somebody else. But it's like, it's insane how, you know, I'm not making any acquisitions, but allegedly some of these things look like monopolies. You know what I mean?
They are.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of weird that little guy can't get their way in the door if they try to do that. And you know these bigger companies. I mean the similar issue, and I'm not going to get off topic here, but like the banking system. Like there should be more banks. If there was more banks in the country, we would be able to have more competitive rates, competitive lenders. You would be able to help out small business owners like you and I.
Correct.
To, you know, especially like, you know, you guys have been in business for, you know, a long time. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that, you know, your numbers of growth and ups and downs, and I'm sure your relationships are way stronger than mine because I've only been in the business really technically with an LLC for 7, almost 8 years.
Correct.
So we're still building those things. We're still building the
relationships.
100%.
That's 100%.
But if you had more banks, then the relationships wouldn't matter as much. And then it would be more of who's qualifying, who's giving out, who's trying to, and I'm not trying to go down too far of a rabbit hole, but there are old models older models where the more banks you had, the more economy was stimulated because they were giving money to business owners like you and I, not just every Tom, Dick, and Harry who needed a loan or to the big shots that, you know what I mean, can just continue to keep that machine going.
I agree.
It's us that are making more the economy stimulated and growing it more than anything.
Oh, 100%. And not to go down a rabbit hole with banks, but really go to your local banks. Like when Bank of Delmar was here, they helped my dad so much back in the day when we first got started on different adventures, different business aspects. Yep. There's still great banks around here, even though like they got bought out by Link. Great people, they're community people that work for them.
Sure.
People in our community. You also have,
but that was the problem. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Federal.
But that's a part of the problem.
Yeah.
These bigger banks or these smaller banks are getting bought out by bigger banks, which is constricting the number of banks. I'm not talking about how many actual physical locations. I'm talking about how many companies.
Yeah, they're shrinking them out.
It's insane, man.
You know, we're very lucky in this area to still have like Farmer Bank of Willard.
Absolutely.
That bank has been here since way before Delmar Pizza was.
That's my bank. I got a great relationship with them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually just met them a couple of weeks ago, and they're really nice people. Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, like they're like, "Oh, we can't get loans." Don't go to the big banks. Don't go to the small banks. Talk to them. Get, like you said, make a relationship with them. Like we have. We've made a relationship with them.
And don't take your first no.
Yeah,
like shop it around.
I got notes plenty of time for everything.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Every
Like
day.
and I was bad at this. I would hear a bank tell me no, and I'm like, okay, and that would be it. And then I go grind it out and figure it out, and then all of a sudden, no. Well, why didn't you call 6 other ones? I'm like,
Exactly.
I never thought of that. But most people don't know these things, and most business owners, especially in our demographic, they don't have the understanding that it doesn't always have to be your grind. Exactly. You got to grind. Yes, that's a given, but that's not got to be the one. That's not going to be the main mission. That doesn't have to be what represents your entire business model. Is you're killing yourself in the saddle constantly. You got to think a little bit smarter.
That's one thing I probably struggle the most with.
Sure, we all do.
My number one thing, like my head is, okay, got to grow the business, got to do this and that. But in my head, sometimes like, okay, I can't let my employees down. Then it kind of puts me in the back seat, because then I can't go ahead and fix the problem, or go ahead and like build the business even stronger for them. That's behind me. You know what I mean? So that is one thing that I do work on every day. I even got a coach for it. You know what I mean? So, and that's how you grow.
Yep. I love that you just hit a reel and a half right there, because one, I love that you revealed that you have a coach, right? Because so many business owners, they struggle with humbling themselves and investing themselves in getting a coach, or in getting somebody who's going to help them, you know what I mean, see the blind spots that they can't. That's huge. Yeah. The other side of it is so many of us struggle with that owner operator mentality, where we're in the operator position because for whatever reasons, yours, you don't want to let your employees down. Mine is there's fear of just letting go, and fear of putting the business in somebody else's hands. And then also, which is a great segue, finding good people, finding the right people. We talked back when, 5 years ago during COVID, and obviously that was a completely different time.
Different game, yeah.
Now, what we've seen a lot of is we've seen back then, employers were begging people to work for them. They were, basically, okay, sure, you can have a day off a week. Okay, no problem. You can have, whatever you need, right? Because the work industry was everybody was scared or taking advantage of it. You saw customer service diminish during that time. Yeah. And it was tough to find employees, not even good employees, just employees. And then now it seems like it's shifted over to now employers want A players, right? Because at this point, we've kind of gotten out of that bullshit, if you ask me, because that was bullshit. Let's be honest what it is. I mean, the whole COVID era, whether you were against it, for it, believed in it, didn't, we know a couple of things. We know people died from COVID. That was the truth. We know that we all were affected by the chaos.
Everything that happened. The chaos. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And we also know that the way that it was handled was absolute bullshit and destroyed a lot of places and destroyed a lot of psyches. But what we did know is we've kind of gotten out of that. We've kind of gotten away from that attitude, that entitlement attitude of employees. And now it seems shifting where employers are looking for better employees. They're looking for A players. Give us some insight on how that looks, because what I notice at the pizza shop every single time I go in, you talk about consistency. All of your people are consistent at that front desk with the way that they greet you, how they talk to you. They might not be the brightest tools in the toolbox, right? I'm not. Yeah. That's why I'm in the fight business. But they're so nice. They're so friendly. And they're really trying to make sure that they are like making eye contact with like these little things that people take for granted. Is that something that's just an automatic, or are you installing that in your people? And what kind of people are you getting in there now?
Kind of a little bit of both. A players. So we've always had a great lineup of employees. Our core has also been amazing.
Your best employee was Drew Diakos.
Oh yeah, my cousin Drew. love my cousin Drew. I'll tell you a funny story about him later. I still love him. He's made me more bald than anything else. I love the kid. I love. Dude,
it's hard.
I love my cousin.
It's hard to love, but it's hard to hate. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's just a great guy. Man.
I love him. I texted him the other day. He's fixing some planes. I'm like, I'm never getting on a plane that you fix. But I do love him. He's good. He's a great kid.
He is,
great kid. Great man. Now he's a father.
Yes,
too.
He is.
But employees, good example, Drew.
Yeah.
Amazing. Sometimes you get a little bit, as you know, I'm a little bit hard. I love him though. But man, the kid can sell.
Yep.
He was like, every time with Drew, I need you to push this product. And he was like, okay. I'm like, what is it? He's like, what is it? He's like, I'm like, I made pasticho, a Greek lasagna for the dining room. And Drew loves to eat. And he's like, all right. He's like, I need to try. I'm like, you grew up eating this. Like, what do you need to try? And I'm like, what do you need to try? He's like, all right. He's like, If I sell, I was like, if you sell 8 of these,
Yep.
you got it. You get whatever you want.
Yep.
But after you sell it first,
Yeah.
that son of a gun sold 12 that night. I was like, you couldn't believe it, but he has it. You know what I mean?
he
He's
does.
amazing with it. He can sell. And it's kind of the training, and it's also talking to your employees. Respect. That's why I teach them all the time. Like, if I want something, they have to understand is that, like, as a business owner, as you are, like for me, it's my mortgage on the line.
Yeah.
I have invested so much into it. They could leave tomorrow and they can get another job. You know what I mean? I still got to own it. I still got to do something with it unless I sell it. So it's kind of that respect back and forth. There's one set of rules for everybody. And just talk, be kind. You know, that other person across the counter, let's say you're working on the counter, that person across the counter is there for a reason. They want to eat something. They want a good thing. You want to smile.
100%.
That's why I teach them smile once in a while. It is hard. Like I walk around and tell them smile, please smile, and stuff like that. You got to, reinforce it once in a while. But for 99.999% of it time, my employees do a great job.
Yeah,
the good thing is that they don't do a service. We call it hospitality. They're not, if service is transactional.
Yes, sir.
I don't want them to, anybody can just pass you money. They can go to McDonald's. Mm-hmm. McDonald's been serving the same nasty burgers for 50 years, but what? It's consistent and you know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's transactional. You're never going to see that guy there. When you come to Delmar Pizza, we know you by name. I'm just like, Branden, I know you. You know what I mean? And most of my staff knows the clientele coming in, knows the people who are coming in the door. You know what I mean? So that is like the key route. Once they get that comfort and the familiarity with the people, it comes natural, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
well, you're also, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're also teaching like young kids how to be like spoken adults. Like, and I'm not talking about just necessary responsibility, but just having a conversation, eye contact, smiling. Like people, I had the biggest problem forever. Back in my back days, I smoked a lot of weed, right? So what happens when you get all high? You're like, you know what I mean? You're all, dummy face. I got resting bitch face, and I couldn't understand why I wasn't approachable. I stopped smoking weed and I started smiling, and people would just light right up, man. A smile will do wonders for somebody when you're
free.
It is.
That's what I tell everybody.
I tell everybody hugs are free. They're free and they make you feel better, right?
Yeah.
So I used to hug these really burly men up in the body shop, and they were like, "Oh, come here, big guy." You know what I mean? They were like, "What the world?" And all of a sudden, they light right up. But you nailed it, dude. And so many businesses need to hear this. In any business that you're in, you should start adopting the hospitality side of it.
Correct.
You are here to fix problems. You're not here to do a transaction.
Exactly.
You are here to fix problems. And I love that, dude. Like, that is such gold. And also the consistency factor. We always hear consistency, but you made a reference, and I know that now it connected the dots for me. Like, what is he talking about? And I didn't get a chance to ask. But like when you talk about like McDonald's, for instance, they know exactly how much mustard, exactly how much ketchup. They know exactly what the scoop of fries are. They have their business down to the French fry when it comes to how much they involve. They know how much to put in and put out, regardless of the quality, regardless of what, you know what I mean? And fun fact, people don't even know McDonald's isn't even in the restaurant business, they're in the real estate business. But that obviously is something that you can learn from, because success leaves clues.
Chick-fil-A does it the best. Not to give them more props, but they might be fast food. Yeah. You know what I mean? But everybody goes there. And I even ask people, because my question is like, why do you go to Chick-fil-A? Mm-hmm. Is it that good? My kids ask for it once in a while, but not all the time. Yeah. But most of the customers, like, they're consistent. You're always going to be greeted. Mm-hmm. And even with them saying, have a great day, what do they say at the end when you're leaving? My
pleasure.
My pleasure. Yep. My pleasure. No matter what. You know what I mean? It's just going to, and they work with high school kids too. Yep. So
I want to have fun with them. When they say my pleasure, say my pleasure. Yeah. And they'll say it again, and you say it again, and they won't stop.
I don't go there that frequently, but once in a while, like for driving something, I'd rather if we need quick stop, like we don't know the area, we'll find one or something like that. But I'll
pick that over anything else.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'll pick that over.
Well, it's funny because they're a faith-based organization, and even the atheists go there. You know what I mean? And the different religions. I had to put that plug in. But let's shift gears. One, I got a question, right? What's your busiest day of the week? Night of the week, day of the week.
Night of the week. So definitely Friday nights are always
That's what I figured. So
where you get hit, but then Saturdays are just like steady through, so you don't really feel it.
Okay.
Fridays, it's pretty much depending on your lunchtime.
Once
after
they cash that check, it's ready.
But man, come like during the wintertime, you're gonna get hit earlier, like 4:30, 5 o'clock. But now spring and summertime, coming 6, 7 o'clock. Like I had to get in the kitchen this past week to get it out.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
How many pies go out on average on a Friday night and a Saturday? Give us an idea what that looks like.
Probably over 1,000.
Wow.
So we average
on both days together or individual?
Individual.
Holy shit.
So you probably have about 600 pizzas a day.
Wow.
When you break it down the week, like, but that's including sometimes like school. So we do the Salisbury Christian School, the Salisbury School. We're very fortunate for those because those help you during your winter months where, you know, you might not be as busy because it's cold, you know, it gets dark earlier. People go home, school, kids, you know how it goes. And those schools have helped us tremendously by letting us do their lunches for them during the weekdays, you know. So it is a grind for us because we got to be there a little bit earlier than usual, especially like when you're making pizzas, you got to be there so that the dough can rise properly. But yeah, that's how they've helped us a lot.
Gosh, so you're doing about 600 a day, and then you're doing 1,000 on Fridays and Saturdays, and that's not including like some crazy event. Somebody came to town.
No, about an average. You know, it hits are up and down, so you can be maybe like 900. So it could vary. You know,
so to me, right, this might be a lot, but it might be every day to you. But to me, that's insane. That is insane. So to be able to flip, let's just go on the low end, the average, 600 pies a day. I mean, your systems and processes have to be down pat. This isn't just like, hey, the cheese is over here, the sauce is over here, go back there, figure it out. I mean, you have to have it dialed in, each position, the way that the assembly line goes, from the dough rise in the morning to how you pull it out to cut. I mean, when did that get? Because how long have you been doing that kind of volume?
So it's been for a while, the volume wise.
But it wasn't doing that in like the 90s and
no.
So like
90s, you had cows crossing the street over
100%.
So it wasn't 90s.
Yeah. So like when that shifted, when you started really, and obviously it wasn't something overnight, it was something gradual.
It was,
but you had to change your processes somewhere, right? You couldn't have been doing it the same way. Like,
no, it's been a while now. So the process, so we're still evolving our systems.
Sure.
Even more now than before. So, but it's, as long as I've been a part of it, and for many years, it's always been a system. It's really the bosses that held like, okay, one boss was going to be on the pizza line and kind of teach a system back in the day. The other one's back in the kitchen. The other one's on the register or up front. They were the core, you know, old partner like Nick, George's son, Bill, Drew's dad, my dad, you know, they would be the face and they'll be on the line. So it kind of evolved by over repetition and just do it over and over again. And then, like I said, we've had a lot of people like Leo. He's been there 20 plus years. And he kind of guides everybody.
Sure.
So like he's moved from like just being a regular employee, busboy, to pizza guy, to even, you can put him in any spot.
He's mastery level.
He's mastery level. Yep. Now for him, he's moved now towards director of operations. He's moving towards that goal. We're growing, we're evolving. So back in the day, it used to be all owner base, you know, and then now we're starting to evolve, starting to hire managers, stuff like that. Back in the day, that wasn't even a thought. You know, it's like, hey, everybody just come in, grind, and go home.
Sure.
Come in, grind, go home.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of, okay, how do we grow? How do we expand? What are we going to do? So we build our core and we go from there. But like I said, it's not easy. Those are the things that I'm working through and trying to figure out how to get the perfect person in the right spot. But systems, they're evolving every day. Like if I see something that's not getting consistently pushed out the right way I want it, I'm going to try to figure out myself first and go through it, and then we'll try it. Try it. Trial and error. You know, it happens all the time. So you got to see what works, what doesn't work.
And that'll tell you what the answer is to what
exactly. Yeah. And you're going to make mistakes.
Sure.
Trust me, I've made thousands. Every day, thousands.
Yep.
And like you said, hearing the word no, I've heard that 1,000 times. It doesn't stop me. Just keep going.
Yeah, the average person thinks that because you're in a business or you've been around for a while that you're not learning and evolving. And I mean, I'm making mistakes since we parted ways with the Maryland Delaware group, and I've been solely focused on this business alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been a punch to the stomach over and over and over again, and not on the mats in this office as I look at all the things. But I'm learning, I'm growing. That's what we needed to do. We needed that singular focus, and it's helped me. It's helping us get more locked in on where we want to go and what we're trying to do. But we're always making mistakes. We're always evolving.
35 years and still get punched in the stomach every day. You know, does it get easier? Well, the punches don't hurt as much.
Yeah, you get conditioned.
So, but there's always something new, you know, there's always something different.
Yep.
There's always, you gotta, like I said, you gotta adapt, and solve that problem. If you don't solve that problem, then you're going to have a different problem coming
100%.
soon.
Dude, you talked about the schools helping you out, but dude, you guys are helping so many people out, especially in the Delmar area. I mean, you just told me today you're officially going to be a sponsor for SBY, and I really greatly appreciate that. But you're doing that everywhere. I mean, I've seen, since I've lived in Delmar for the past 5 years, so many Delmar pizza things that have their name attached to it. You know what I mean? From the police to the schools to the community to like all these things, man. And, you got the cross on your neck. You mentioned Jesus Christ and everything. I can't help but say, having a giver's heart and faith and putting God first and helping out the people, because there's also things that I know that you do that are not recognized. And there's a lot of hungry people that you fed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that you've taken care of and helped out in the community that, and mothers. And, there's always those unspoken ones that come in there that's just between you and them that I know you've done. You know what I mean? And we don't need to speak about that. You can. But, I mean, obviously, how important is philanthropy and how important is faith to you, other than the fact that we're supposed to be, obedient to God and Jesus Christ, but like just internally, how important is that? Because it seems like that is the driver of why you guys are so successful. The systems are great. The food is delicious and phenomenal. You've been around for a long time. You've got the mastery level in all areas. But there's a missing ingredient that. There's a missing ingredient in a lot of business owners that struggle for a long time. And it seems like once they step into faith and once they step into philanthropy, man, they really, their businesses really grow, their personal lives really grow. It just seems like a combination of everything. What's that to you?
So it's pretty much our core. I know I say core a lot, but like the foundation is upon the Bible and Jesus Christ. Parents taught that from a young age. No matter what you do, this is the right way. And, they let us figure out ourselves, obviously make mistakes.
Yeah.
We sin every day, do something dumb every day, do something, but it is the core. It is their background. Now, to giving, we donate as much as we can. Like, it's a cliche, go to your local spot, sponsor, like, help out your local businesses. It is a cliche, but your local businesses are the ones that are going to donate. The local businesses are going to give back to the community. If we didn't have, I know you've been a customer of Delmar Pizza for many years, so is he the cameraman. So, if we don't have you come in the doors, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the number one thing. It's like, is it cliche to say, hey, go support local? Yeah. But in hindsight, that local person is going to go do something else in the community. Maybe not donate, but they're going to take their money that they make and they're going to go and give it right back somehow, some way. Yep. So the number one thing is like, donate, but we don't ask for nothing in return. You understand? So like, if you were going to donate or do something, if I'm going to give you something, I'm not looking for you to say, hey, Mike, I'm going to give you this and X, Y, and Z. I'm not looking for that. My dad's always taught me, he's like, when you give, turn your eye, go the other way, forget about it.
Yes, sir.
You gave out of your heart. Now, do we watch a little more carefully? Yeah. I've blown given a little too much.
Sure.
You got to control it a little bit more because we have people coming all over the place. I've personally donated as far as Cape in Delaware, and then as far past Chickadee, as far as down Accomack County. So we've donated to everybody.
So you're really Eastern Shore.
Yeah, we're really Eastern Shore. And like, where are you guys coming from?
Yeah.
Like the other day, I had somebody come down from Easton. I'm like, you're like an hour and a half away from me. Like, are you like, what do you want me to donate? Like, oh, we want gift cards. I'm like, from Easton?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. all right, I got you. Like, all right, here's $100 worth of gift cards and stuff like that. But my number one thing now is like if it's something for kids.
Yeah.
Parents come in. So the parents, no.
Yep.
If you want, like, and I started to do this for my own kids, but if somebody needs a donation, stop by. If I can do it, I'm gonna let you know. If I can't, like, I'm gonna say, hey, let's try to do something else for you. Like I had a nice young lady come by the other day, and she's like, do you want to do my school discount card? I'm like, I would love to, but I had to stop those. Yeah, because you're not there every waking moment, so somebody can just hit a discount thing. You don't know what it's going for. So, but I was like, hey, can I help you in another way? Yep. So we ended up working out something different. But, give with your heart. If you're just trying to be in business, put it right in your pocket or just do that, you're not going to be doing anything.
You're always going to have this sense of, what I've collected and gathered from the people that have like made that decision and the people that you see that just aren't generous. Not trying to judge them, not trying to tell them how to do their business, but you can just tell that it's, it's all about them. They just seem like they're never satisfied, and I like to think that I'm blissfully unsatisfied. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just settling for, but I'm also very grateful of, you know what I mean? So, and you're so right. Having a generous heart and having a giving heart and things like that, it can get out of hand. We get them calling here, every emails and calling and stopping by every single week where somebody, hey, can you donate? Can you give this? Hey, can you sponsor this? I'd love to sponsor everybody,
exactly,
but there's just, and so that's a great nugget that you said is on top of the faith base, on top of the philanthropy, hey, you still got to put a governor on yourself because, especially if you don't know how to say no, you can be giving away all. Mama's over here like, yo, where's our children's clothes? And I'm like, well, I gave it to the church. Well, like, okay, but you know what I mean? You still had responsibilities here, guy.
Exactly. Like I've only, and most people are like, they know what's going on and stuff like that. I've only had one encounter where it was like, one person was like really aggressive, like, you got to do this. I was like, whoa. Yeah. I was like, excuse me. But if they didn't speak so rude to my employee at the time, because I was away, my wife was giving birth to our third child. And one of the managers like, because I handle that part. And the manager's like, hey, Mike, this lady came back. I'm like, tell her when I get back, I'm more than welcome. I'll take care of it. But right now, my wife just had a baby. Sure. You know what I mean? What do you want me to do? Just leave my wife and the baby when I do all the other times? You know what I mean? But I felt bad. I was like, you know what? I'm staying with my wife. I'll get to it. It's just a donation. They'll give me like, and she started yelling and cursing at my employee. I was like, all right, no. Yeah. I told him that's.
And what a poor representative of that cause, because, that cause obviously needs the help, but you send somebody out there like that, just tone deaf and don't know how to talk to people.
And you have to give. You have to help out others, and then when you do it, just give, and then don't expect something coming back. Yeah. You know what I mean? God will give you whatever you need. Like the Delmar community, the whole Delmar community has supported us, from the school to the town to everybody. Everybody lives in town, even the surrounding areas. If we didn't have that support, I couldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. So the number one thing is, thank God for every day. And then when you support your local business like Delmar Pizza or your MMA fighting, everything like that, guess what? We can help.
I love it, man.
If we don't have it, how are you going to give?
I love it.
So if you have it, give. That's how you do it.
Stop going to the chains. Stop going to the chains.
And the chains are pretty funny. They tell you, oh yeah, we donate, but we got to go up the ladder and get it for you. Or
no, I mean, stop supporting the chains.
Yeah, stop supporting.
I struggle with chain restaurants and chain companies. I'm not anti and I don't boycott, but it's very hard for me to go into, a place up north knowing that I'm going to get better quality food and that I can support, people that are going to keep recycling into the
of course.
I'm not anti-chain. There's a place for them. I'm not anti anybody. I get how you live it. But if you really want to make an impact on your community, support your local businesses.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, local businesses, local business owners. Make sure that you do the right thing. You know what I mean? Like there's so many local businesses that I don't support because they're just not really good people. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate because they've got a good product or they got a good service, but they don't know how to talk to their clients. They're transactional. They're not giving back. They're not givers. All, however you want to look at it. I don't base my judgment on reviews. I don't base my judgment on, I base my judgment on what it is 1-to-1.
Correct. And reviews are a touchy subject.
Yeah.
everybody does not do everything perfect every day. If there's a perfect person, congratulations. Yep. But I know I'm not perfect. I make mistakes.
Yep.
A lot of even my employees make mistakes. I teach them, try your best, take a couple seconds if you need it, get the router right. And for the 99% of the time, all our customers, if we make a mistake, they understand. They'll call up, say, hey, this and that. Now you have a few that might go right on social media or go on Google, give a review. You still take it to heart. You got to read it. You got to figure it out what's going on because you might have a problem that you don't know.
100%.
And then you try to fix it. So that's in the stage where I'm at right now in the business, trying to fine tune it and bring it where I really want to be. And number one thing is give somebody that expectation, somebody that that feeling to be, oh, we're gonna go to Delmar Pizza, we're gonna have a great time, good atmosphere, good environment, everything. The food's gonna be great. And that's where we're trying to pull down, get it right.
Well, brother, you asked me how we were going to do this podcast. It's been 50 minutes.
I know, too long.
No, I'm just saying, like, with this thing flew by, man. I enjoyed this conversation so much, man. Yeah. I just want to let you know, man, that like I really admire and appreciate what you do for everybody around you. You know what I mean? Because that's really what gets me going and why I wanted to have this conversation with you and why I wanted you to bring in here, because watching people just be community leaders and just, quietly just keep just doing the right things and just keep growing and keep building and going through these trenches, but also being a staple because of that is such it's such an attractive trait for me. I really love that factor that, people can do that and you don't have to be the big and the loudest. I'm very loud on social media. I got a lot to say, but if just like yourself, I'm in here, I'm doing it every single day. It's the same process. It's the same hours, long days, long nights. And I just really, man, I really appreciate what you've done and don't stop. You know what I mean? Like if you ever get into a situation where you start doubting if it's worth it, just remember that you're impacting so many lives, whether it be the entire town, the entire shore, or just inside of your restaurant and your family. I see the difference maker of when I come in there and how I'm greeted and the looks on people's faces, even the ones that are nervous and you can tell they just started, they're still trying so hard. So I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
This is your plug time. How can we find you? How can we get up with you? Where do we go? Let the people know where to find you, because we got millions of listeners here on Champ Talk. But where how do we get to you?
So everybody, Delmar Pizza is located in Delmar, Delaware, on the Delaware side. We're located in a Delmar shopping center next to Food Line, close to Food Line, a little further down. You can find us there. Also our website, and then we should be starting shipping nationwide soon. That's coming up new. So part-baked pizzas, so we'll be shipping around our sauces. So new things are coming. Stay tuned. Watch Facebook. Even though you see me, I do not enjoy doing Facebook. Everybody, whoever knows me knows I am pretty shy.
Yeah.
And for the instance of like camera shy. But you can find us on our website as well.
What is that website?
DelmarPizzaPasta.com.
Okay. And what's your handles on social media?
What my handles?
Yeah. Do you know?
I don't even know.
Look up Delmar Pizza.
Look up Delmar Pizza. You'll find it. I am not
in Delaware, not in California.
Correct. There is actually two other Delmar Pizzas, one in New York, one in California.
Yep.
We are in Delaware. Another thing is, pretty much you can find us there, and then Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And trying to do TikTok, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I'm not a social media
That's
person.
all right, brother. That's all right. Well, being shy, you did phenomenal, man. I think we got really quick in the meat and potatoes, and I know our audience is going to love this. So thank you again for coming on, man.
Thank you.
So guys, there you go, man. We have, I know that you guys are going to know somebody who is going to need to hear this episode. Share this with them. Share this as much as you can. And again, we need you to like and subscribe to all platforms, channels, whichever you're on. And again, if you got value from this, you feel kind, leave us a review. Let us know what you thought about. Let us know what you think about All Champ Talks, what you want me to talk about, who you want me to have on. We'd love to hear the feedback. We always want to improve. We always want to give back value. Until next time, guys, what are you doing today to become a champion?